gentlemen, in just a few moments we will have the playing of our national anthem by the Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlander Marching Band. In preparation, I invite you to stand. Prior to the anthem, please join me as we bow our heads in reverence to God. Dear Lord, first of all, tonight we offer a special prayer for Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlander teammate Matthew Pitzer. As P is in the hospital at this very moment, we pray that you will bless him, protect him, and heal him. We pray for P a speedy recovery. And Lord, we thank you for these sacred moments when we do have an opportunity to unite as one in prayer. We offer you praise and thanksgiving. Thank you for giving us minds with which to think and be logical. Thank you for giving us emotions with which to be enthusiastic and get excited. Just as an athlete must combine physical skills with intelligence and emotions in order to succeed, help all of us to realize that success in any endeavor is based upon how we combine and utilize our gifts from you. With humility in your presence, we confess that we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Through your power, may we discover, develop, and apply our God-given abilities wisely in order to rise above our areas of challenges in all of life. As we focus upon this football game, we're thankful for what these two teams have meant to their schools and to their communities. We're grateful they have the privilege of participating in this second round of the state playoffs. It is a deserved honor awarded to each team for their accomplishments this season. We look forward tonight to a game that exemplifies the very best in competition. A game that holds high the ideals of good, hard-hitting football and spotlights the very best in sportsmanship from participants and spectators alike. In the name of our Lord, we do pray. Amen. Officials for tonight's ball game: the referee will be Lee Hedrick, umpire Brian Harless, head linesman Mike Wall, line judge Steve Williams, back judge Bucky Solomon, clock operator Warner Graves, and the 25-second clock operator tonight is Howard Russell. Captains for the Highlanders tonight: number 61, Michael Dodig; number 7, Chase Young; number 32, Bo Dyer; number 10, Bo Owens. captain tonight for Cumberland Gap Panthers, number 20, Jacob Shipley. Cumberland Gap will be receiving tonight, so the Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlanders will be kicking off. Second round playoffs, are we ready?
Hello, football fans from Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Mike out along with Rob Younger to bring you tonight's second round TSSAA State Playoff Class 2A action tonight between the Panthers of Cumberland Gap and the homestanding Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlanders. Rob, deja vu rematch from 3 weeks ago.
Mike, and it's an unusual rematch. You know, usually how often is it that you play your conference foe, play for the conference championship, your last football game of the season, then turn around 2 weeks later and play them second round of the playoffs?
Of course, the winner of tonight's ball game between the Highlanders and the Panthers will take on the winner of the Alcoa CAK game next week, next Friday night. Gatlinburg-Pittman coming in with a couple of late injuries, Rob, in the week. Inside linebackers Joey Green injured last week and with a shoulder, and Matt Pitzer with a injured hand. You know, both those guys are going to be out. But talk about Pitzer being out. You know, he's the punter, he's the kickoff man, he's the extra point man, and he'll be sorely missed tonight.
Well, Mike, both of them are going to be missed, and that's all anybody's talked about around town this week. What kind of impact will that have? And obviously it's going to have a huge impact. Joey Green's the leading tackler on this football team. Matthew Pitzer never comes off the field. He's our kickoff guy. He's our PAT kicker. But, you know, one thing about Matthew Pitzer, he's one of the better athletes on the team. But, Mike, I think last football game, he really became a great football player. He started acting like he started attacking the football, started running behind his pads. I think both of those guys, as you say, are going to be sorely missed.
Kicking off for the Highlanders, number 77, the backup kicker and punter, Adolfo Elman for the Highlanders.
Mike, this is probably the biggest kickoff man we've had since Yogi Morris.
Back in the late 80s. It's a booming kick. It's loose right there. Highlanders, get on it, get on it. Did we come up with, I think Cumberland Gap came up with it, Rob, but hey, not bad right there.
Not bad. Highlanders had an opportunity, Mike, and I'm glad to see Adolfo kick off like that. I've been really disappointed if one of my linemen would have been a soccer-style kicker.
Of course, quarterback, the big guy, 6'8", 230, Adam Nelson for the Panthers, likes that no-huddle offense and really goes a lot off shotgun. Rob, Highlanders got to him early when they played earlier in the year, really got to him, put the heat on him, and they look forward to doing that again tonight. 1st and 10, the Gap. Handoff inside, that's Beeson, running back on the corner, still on his feet, lots of running room, finally tripped up there at the 49-yard line. Rob, he had some running room there.
He had some running room. Good offensive call by Cumberland Gap, Mike. I think that's the last thing anybody expected. You know, we know that they know that our guys are injured. We probably think they're going to try to run the big fullback, but just a little counter tray right there, Mike, to come out in the one-back set in a shotgun. Pretty good football play.
1st and 10, Cumberland Gap at their own 49-yard line. Opening moments of tonight's ball game, 11:40 remaining in the first. Twins left and right. For Nelson, looks, has a man out there complete across midfield.
Ball.
Hamled down. I think the ball came loose. I think Cumberland Gap came up with it, but a big lick by number 10, Bo Owens for the Highlanders.
Mike, that was, and one thing, that screen pass, and you had blockers out there on our run support guys. But, boy, one thing you got to be impressed with about the Highlanders, Mike, watch them get off their blocks right here and get to the football and watch the pursuit by Bo Dyer. But, man, what a great play by Bo Owens, getting off his block and putting that helmet between the numbers and causing a fumble.
Lucky getting that fumble back. 2nd down, 8, Cumberland Gap. Nelson looks, still looking, has a man across the middle. That ball is incomplete on the coverage for the Highlanders. Number 7, the senior Chase Young.
Well, Mike, I tell you, a guy that made a huge play right there was number 11, Kyle Horner. And if you go back and look at the replay, you know one thing that our defensive players are thinking about is they've got to put a big lick on number 3, the quarterback. And, boy, Kyle Horner, he did not get a roughing the passer there, but as soon as he let go of the ball, he laid it on him.
Rob at the inside linebacker position tonight, filling in right there. Matt Robertson, who's usually on the outside, and Lee Douglas, number 22. And, of course, you got Dyer and Jenkins on the corner. Here's a screen pass. The ball's complete right there. But who? Hey, Bo Dyer. That's a loss of 5 on the play. Great defense by the great GP player, Bo Dyer.
And, Mike, he is. And in my opinion, in the football that we've seen in Class 2A and the one non-region game in 3A, Bo Dyer's the best all-around football player that we've seen. And he just gets a great read on it, Mike, takes a great angle, comes across the face of a block, and huge play.
Of course, you know, he may be spying Beeson tonight. Cumberland Gap to kick it away here on 4th and 13. Good snap, not much pressure. GP's got a return on. It's going to hit, and GP's going to let it roll. Finally picked up by Young, not too smart right there at the 27-yard line.
Hey.
Rob, you don't like to see that.
No, you don't like to see it. And you know what? This entire football year, that Bo Dyer and Chase Young have been 2 of the best punt return guys we've ever had. And, Mike, I can only think of one time where they really let the ball hit the ground and roll where they should have caught it. That's the only bad decision I've seen those guys make in 12 football games. So,
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you exclusively by McCarty Lumber Company, downtown Gatlinburg. For all your lumber needs, hey, go get some 2x4s. 1st and 10 for Taylor Ogle. That's Dyer on the sweep, running room on the pitch right there. Cuts back inside across the 30, up close to the 32. Nice gain of 7 on the play for the big senior running back.
Nice cut by Bo Dyer, Mike. Also a great block by number 2, Matt Robertson. And one thing when you're a blocker, an offensive blocker, you've got to keep your head up and watch him adjust to the defensive player, Mike. He keeps his head up. Watch him pick up that blitz and just kick the guy outside.
Second down, actually 6 on the gain of 6 on the play. Second down for Highlanders. Janey to the left, Owens to the right. Trap inside Robertson. Pound, twist, turns up across the 35, close to a Highlander first down. I think he's going to be a little short, Rob, but big shoes tonight by Matt Robertson, a senior, filling in for the injured Matthew Pitzer.
And, Mike, we're going to have a tough yard right here. Mike, you got to feel good with that guy that's breaking the huddle right there, number 65, Keelan Bryce. He's right at the point of attack where this is going to happen. Great center, has done a great job all year.
Dyer off the left side, first down at the 38-yard line. Of course, Keelan Bryce, Rob, you know, the Prep Extra Character Athlete of the Week here in the county here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School.
Well deserving. I tell you, he's gone all year, Mike. He has not. I don't think he's missed a snap.
Rob had the opportunity to come over here to GP this morning and talk with some of the kids in the hallway during break and everything. But all those football players, they just had that little bounce in their feet today, which is very important if you're an athlete. First and 10, Highlanders. Ogle fakes, looking. He's Jenkins in the flat, complete. Pickup of about 4 out close to the 42-yard line.
Well, Mike, I think we're in good shape. Obviously Matthew Pitzer and Joey Green being out are going to hurt the football team, and we're going to be lacking a little depth. But I just think that this football team, even though we're 10-1, we have a 10-1 record. We've only lost 1 game. I still think our performance has gone up and down. We've had some peaks and valleys. Right now, I think we're kind of peaking at the right time.
Gain of 5 on the play. Second down 5, Highlanders. Ogle fakes, draw inside Dyer, running around midfield, and more. Brought down at the Panther 47-yard line.
Mike, great job by the offensive line, and you see big number 61, Michael Dodig, getting fired up after he sees the chains moving. Of course, starting tonight's game at left tackle, senior 61 Michael Dodig, left guard Nate Sanchez, Keelan Bryce, center Corey Nichols, a senior at right guard, and Adolfo Allman, number 77, the right tackle, and 80 Zach Sutton at tight end.
Sutton tight end left. Hook fake right there. That's Sutton across the middle, down inside the 25 at the 22-yard line. And Rob, Sutton, strong first part of the season, had a little lapse at the tail end of the season, but hey, he's a big target.
He is, Mike. He's 6'4", 200, probably about 215 pounds. Great speed, great hands. And one thing, we probably should use him in a lot more patterns than the hot pass, get him involved in some out routes, but a good receiver, good blocker, good tight end.
Timeout, Cumberland Gap, and a good job right there by head coach Neil Pericelli right there, trying to stop the Highlanders' momentum. Of course, head coach Benny Hammond's in his 36th season at the helm here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, assisted by Neil Estes, Brad Weber, Paige Yates, Adrian Propes, Larry White, Brad Justice, Matt Evans, and Ralph Kidd. And don't forget, at the end of tonight's broadcast, we will be bringing you the Greenbrier Restaurant Play of the Game and the Five Oaks Construction offensive and defensive players of the game. Rob, it's playoff time.
It is, and it's a playoff atmosphere, Mike. And, one thing I've seen in the last few years, I've seen a lot of playoff teams, Gatlinburg-Pittman included, regular season's over, they just didn't, as you say, have that spring in their step, and they just didn't seem like they had that confidence that they could go past that first or second round. But I see a couple teams right here that really think they can win and want to keep going deeper into the playoffs.
Both Gatlinburg-Pittman and Cumberland Gap 10-1 on the season. Gatlinburg-Pittman losing Game 6 of the season over at Rutledge. Cumberland Gap's only defeat to your hometown Highlanders. 1st and 10 ball at the 22-yard line. Taylor over the quarterback. Dyer the tailback. Trap inside, it's Robertson. Down to about the 20-yard line. Of course, Rob, hey, when I got out of the car tonight, it was 36 degrees.
30 degrees at kickoff time.
Hey, it's cold out.
Coach Hammonds has his toboggan on.
Yeah, in fact, I ran into Mrs. Hammonds, Beverly, down at Hatcher's Cleaners in Sevierville on Wednesday, picking up Benny's toboggan there. 2nd down, 8 Highlanders. Hey, I wish I had a toboggan on. Dyer right side, hammered right there, still on his feet, bounces outside. Good job of Dyer. Stopped at the point of contact, Rob, trying to bounce outside, and that may happen again later tonight.
And Mike, one thing Cumberland Gap's doing, obviously walking those linebackers up, shooting their linebackers in A and B gap. And getting an early read on that wham.
3rd down, 7 GP. 6:50 remaining in a scoreless ball game from Hammondsville. Ogle drops, looking. Has Owens in the flat. Great move inside the 10, 5, touchdown, Bo Owens. Great job tight roping, Rob. I wanted to say that all season long down the right sideline.
Mike, I can't remember a receiver that runs better after the catch than Bo Owens that we've had in a long time. I wasn't here when Alan Cox played, but I mean, the kid catches the football, tucks it, and takes care of business. And I think that defender thought he was just going to run him out of bounds, but Bo showed a little speed, outran him to the corner, and tight roped the sideline.
Rob pits around. I think probably the Highlanders may be going for 2 tonight here with big Billy Husky and Adolfo Elman as the wham backs. They're going to get GP for breaking the huddle with too many men or something here. See what the call is. Illegal participation against GP. Of course, Rob had to back it up 5 yards right there. I didn't see anybody break the huddle late. So GP may have to go back to their regular offense here on for the PAT conversion from the 8-yard line.
Mike, can you imagine how disappointed Billy Husky and Adolfo are right now?
Rob, that's a quarter ton coming at you right there. I used to have an S10 truck that didn't weigh a quarter ton. Young to the right, Janey to the left, Owens in the slot to the left. Look for Owens here, maybe right side. Algo looks, has a man across the middle. Ball's complete right there. Bo Owens for the PAT. GP up 8-0 here with 6:37 remaining in the first quarter.
Mike, gutsy call. You had motion right. You had all the receivers running to the flat, running to the flag. Bo Owens kind of cut across the grain right there on the post route. Taylor Ogle just threaded a needle right there between two defenders. Owens did a great job, great concentration, catching it in traffic. And then, Mike, what he always does best is he tucks and covers up and protects the football.
Here's a replay of the touchdown there. Owens tight roping down the right side. Then we'll see the PAT here. Randall's doing a good job tonight as you see the GP Highlander cheerleaders across the way there. All bundled up tonight. Of course, Rob, you got the guys over there that with no shirts on tonight. Hey, it's cold out there. Young guys don't get cold.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't get cold.
They don't have enough sense to get cold.
So Adolfo Elman to kick it off again. Didn't quite catch all of it on that first kickoff right there. Sort of like a Jack Miller 9-iron shot. You know, sometimes he catches it, sometimes he doesn't. But big Adolfo to kick off again. I bet he catches this, Rob. Oh, better kick fielded by Johnson at the 15. Cuts back inside, a little running lane right there. The hammer down
by Adolfo.
Adolfo.
He drew a beat on that guy, Mike. It just was a perfect play. How about one of my offensive linemen kicking the ball off and then running down and making the tackle on the kickoff team?
The thing about that, Rob, typically he's not on kickoff coverage, you know, a big guy like that. But, man, you talk about getting hammered right there.
Kicks the ball off, draws a bead. Hey, let's just go ahead. I'm going to call Dave Haddon at the Greenbrier. This is our Greenbrier restaurant. Dave would appreciate that play.
You know, ex-lineman himself. 1st and 10 for Nelson Company. Shotgun formation, looking, being pressured, wants to go deep. Has a man incomplete right there. Janey on the coverage slipped at the 45-yard line. Of course, Rob, congratulations to your Dyer County Choctaws' first win last week in the playoffs. And who are they facing tonight?
Choctaws play Haywood County, then they're going to win, and then they're going to beat Dyersburg again next week, and then go to the semifinals.
That's tough.
We've got it mapped out.
Of course, you call your mom and check on all that stuff, right? Or do you still get the New Bern paper? 2nd down 10, Cumberland Gap. Nelson, the quarterback, looking, or fakes. Inside, that's Beeson. He's got some running room. The great back right there. That's a 1st down and more at the 44-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, I'm sure when Coach Estes and these guys put the game plan together, Beeson wasn't the guy that they're worried about.
Here's a replay here.
Of course, they better start worrying about him. He's got 2 carries for 37 yards.
Beeson again hammered. Who back? Ball could have been loose. No, he's still on his feet. Good job twisting by Brad Beeson right there. Number 1, the senior running back right there. Rob, who hit him first in the back?
Mike,
was it Lee Douglas, I think?
I thought it was Bo Dyer that popped him right there behind the line of scrimmage. But
it was either 32 or 22.
He kind of spun out of that, but Matthew Robertson is the one that finally made the tackle.
Excuse me, Rob. 2nd down 9, the Gap. Nelson going deep. Ball's going to be picked off by Chase Young. Great interception at the 33.
What a beautiful play, Mike. I was wondering when they were going to try. You know, that was only the 2nd attempt downfield in 2 possessions. And you saw the crossing route. I thought they were going to make a good pick, but Chase Young just did a good job with his coverage. But he just did a great job reading the football and timing it. And, Mike, I believe hurry up and snap the football. They don't have replay, but
we don't have replay here, Rob. That would have been reviewed.
What a great play. You know, the thing about it, Mike, you're an old defensive back coach. Timing is everything, and you used to teach those guys catch the ball at its highest point. And, boy, that's exactly what he did.
Ogle to Young, open field, 45-50, brought down at the 50-yard line. Great throw and catch from Taylor Ogle, the junior quarterback, to the senior, the tough guy, Chase Young. Now, Rob, I know you've been a big ex-offensive guy, hey, you like to throw on first down a little bit, loosen them
Like,
up.
got to mix it up, loosen them up. Got to keep those linebackers backed off the football, loosen things up.
Dyer on the draw. Gets 4 tough yards down close to the 46-yard line. GP on top 8-0, 4:46 clock running in the first quarter.
Of course, Cumberland Gap still blitzing that onside linebacker. You know, thing that you got to like about that, Bo Dyer does such a great job reading his blocks and reading the field. You know, those guys keep blitzing. Bo Dyer's going to run by him.
2nd down, 6, GP. Owen splits to the right, Janey to the left, Sutton tight end left. Backfield, Robertson to fullback, Dyer the tailback. Ogle fakes, looking. Going to tuck up and run, cuts back inside, now outside. He's going to have a first down. Rob, number 16 right there, the way he did that, that's shades of Peyton Manning right there.
Mike, that was a great run. But when you look at the replay, go back and watch number 66, Nate Sanchez. He's the left offensive guard. He's going to pull. He's responsible for protecting. Watch that block right there. And, Mike, he did it just perfect, like on a bootleg pass. You pull from that guard spot, come down the line of scrimmage, and you kind of belly back and attack that outside shoulder of the defensive end. Man, we got some kids, Mike, that came to play tonight, making some great individual plays.
1st and 10, GP. Dyer, toss sweep, trying to get outside, cuts back. Rob thinks strange things happen here. Dyer looks, wants to throw the football. He throws it. It's going to be Coach Benny Hammond's not going to be happy with that. We get all kinds of flags there, Rob. Really didn't have anybody downfield, but the first guy to get it was Michael Doty.
Well, Mike, I don't think when in the heat of the battle, when the ball's coming to you, you reach your hands up and try to catch it. If Bo Dyer should have had that, tried to throw back to Taylor Ogle when things were falling apart, but
that was shades of Happy Valley. As you get a look at the replay here. Rob, I thought Dyer had a little running room right here. Picked up a block there from Ogle. Couldn't get to the corner, so.
You know, Bo Dyer's, you know, your quarterbacks, Mike, at some point in their mind, they realize, I'm just got to take a loss. I've got to go down. I've got to take the sack, or I've got to throw it away. Running backs just aren't geared like that, Mike. They don't know when it's time to go down.
Loss of 5, loss of the down, 2nd down, 15. Ogle fakes, looking, wants to cut back inside, still on his feet. Twist, turns, and drives down close to the 38-yard line. Of course, Rob, hey, Ogle, he's had more carries tonight than he has all season.
You know, thing about it, he's really a pretty nifty runner. He's 6'5" and, 180-plus pounds, but he really runs the football well.
Pick up off 4 in a play, 3rd down, 11 Highlanders. Clock running, 3:20 remaining in the first quarter. Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, the Mountain Thicket, 2nd round Class 2A, TSSAA state playoffs. Ogle drops, looks, has Young across the middle, complete. 1st down and more, down close to the 20-yard line. 1st down, Highlanders.
And Mike, Chase Young has come up huge tonight. He came up huge last week in our first playoff game. Early in the season, he was kind of our go-to guy, and then he had a few drops right there in the middle of the season on the look-in. But, I mean, he's just a great senior, Mike. He's a tough kid. He plays offense, defense, special teams, good leader, good weightlifter. I mean, he's given this team a lot of sparks when they needed it.
Rob, that was GP's 6th first down of the first quarter. That's a lot in high school football. Young to the right, Owens in the slot to the left, Janey split to the left. Orange now motions. Ogle looks. Young in the center. Ball is a little high there, incomplete. GP players wanting a flag, but it's not going to be there, Rob.
And, Mike, that's his first incomplete pass. But, they say he wanted a flag. Usually when you get to this point in the playoffs, usually you have pretty good officiating crews, although we were a little disappointed a couple times, as we always are. But, these guys are going to let the game be decided on the field, not by them throwing 100 flags. Unless it's just a real obvious or a call that's going to have a big impact on the play, they're going to let it go.
Clock stop, 2:38 in the first quarter. GP on top, 8-0, in a power slot left formation. Ugle rolls out looking. I think Dyer went the wrong way right there. Ugle still on his feet. Finally knocked out of bounds. They're going to say he's down inbounds at the 19-yard line. Rob, that play design, Bo Dyer should have went to the left right there. He went to the right, so that's why Ugle had to cut it back to the right. Being pressured there.
Well, Mike, one thing I see is you have to think this team came together a lot this week. They said, look, we've got our best defensive player, Joey Green's hurt out. We got Matthew Pitzer, one of our better defensive and offensive players, our kicker. Everybody's going to have to step up. I see a lot of kids, Nate Sanchez, for example, 5 plays ago, just really trying to make some big individual plays.
GP unbalanced line right. Now they go even there to the big wham backfield in there. Dyer on the wham right there, hit hard. Short of a first down right there as they had Big Billy Husky and Adolfo Elman lined up in the backfield right there. It's, like I said, a quarter pound coming right at you, Robert. Deja vu, that's a hard word for me to say, of William Perry, the refrigerator for the Chicago Bears.
Well, I tell you, Cumberland Gap's number 52, Hunter Hassler, couldn't have played it any better, though. He just kind of got lower than those two guys and caused a pile right there, and Bo Dyer had to try to jump over Allman.
I'd get low too, Rob. 4th and 5 Highlanders. Sutton tied in right, Owings in the slot to the left. Ugle fakes, looking. Here's Owings right there. Ball's going to be incomplete. Is there a flag right there? Rob, there was contact there, but
yeah, Mike, his arm went over his head. I mean, across the top of his head.
Well, maybe we talked too soon about that officiating crew. Of course, we'll look at the replay right here. Remember, this broadcast brought to you exclusively tonight by McCarter Lumber Company, downtown Gatlinburg. For all your lumber needs, go get them. Here's a replay here. Owens definitely couldn't get his arms up because of his hit.
Plenty of these too, Chick-fil-A.
So after the turnover, it's Nelson and company at the 16-yard line. Johnson on a carry, cuts back inside, a little running room, hit by a host of Highlanders, but a nice pickup of about 8 yards out close to the 25-yard line.
Mike, I think so far a good offensive game plan by Cumberland Gap's head coach, although they haven't gotten anything going. You know, when they came in here 3 weeks ago, everybody was kind of intimidated and in awe of a 6'8" quarterback that has already thrown for 2,000 yards by the 9th ball game of the season.
And now he has 3,007, Rob, after 2 more games. Beeson going nowhere. Number 22, Lee Douglas on a stop for the Highlanders.
Giving a double bicep pose there. Bruce Ruttenborough liked that. Coach Hammonds might not like it, but and Mike, that's just a great read by Lee Douglas. And it was at first I thought he was on a blitz. He just read the ball, kept his outside arm free, ran past the block, and made a good tackle.
And that's going to be the quarter. 1 in the books here from Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. The Highlanders on top, 8-0. Rob, it's playoff atmosphere now.
Mike, it is playoff atmosphere. Great crowd on hand. You see that you look across the way and see the packed house. Student section's full. Everybody's having a great time tonight. It's always amazing, Mike. Temperature drops below 32 degrees. We've got food in the booth. How big our security force gets up here in the booth. We got Steve McKinney, Terry Williams, and
Chris
Bryan. Huge security force when the weather's cold and there's free food.
Of course, Rob, a big thanks to Julian's Pizza tonight for providing the pregame meal for us up here in the booth. Great pizza, you know. And hey, listen, they'll be open tonight till 4 o'clock in the morning right there.
You know, if I were a high school kid, Mike, I'd get down there after the game. He has something he calls 30-30. If you can eat his big pizza,
two people, right? One part. 2 people.
2 people. If they can eat a 30-inch pizza within 30 minutes, they get it for free.
Hey, we eat it free up here, Rob. Also good tonight to see ex-Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlander assistant football coach Gabe Teeple in town tonight for the Vandy UT game tomorrow. Of course, Gabe, a strength coach for the Commodores. Him and his wife, Donna, wanted to get back home a little bit here and watch the Highlanders in the playoffs. 3rd down, 6. Little misdirection right there, Rob. That's going to be short right there at the 26-yard line, about 1 yard short. Let's see what Cumberland Gap does. And, of course, 3 weeks ago they gambled a little bit, but they're going to punt the football away here. Of course, Rob, Gatlinburg-Pittman, good job so far on the ground tonight. Ball control, and
playing Coach Benny Hammond's football. Mike, there was just a lot more drama in that last game. It was for the region championship. The quarterback, everybody was excited about that. Great test by our defensive backs, but tonight we just have a lot of confidence, not intimidated by the great quarterback at all.
GP going after this one here. Pressure. Kick is away. Orange fair catch at the 42, make that 47-yard line. The Bowie can't do that there. I thought they may get him for a delay of game after he ran out there, but GP football.
26-yard punt.
Rob, you have a good week in the woods this week? A
Beautiful
warm week, cold week.
Beautiful week in the woods. Went from summer to winter. Had a little snow yesterday.
Talking to some of the GP guys late yesterday afternoon here at the GP football practice. Some flurries in the air. Little wintertime coming on. Of course, Rob, it is the middle of November. Young to the right, Dyer, the tailback, out of the power I formation. Crossbuck right there. That's big Corey Jenkins on the carry. Twists, turns, pounds his way down into Cumberland Gap territory, but they're going to say he fumbled, and it's going to be Cumberland Gap football.
Well, Mike, it doesn't matter what we see on the film. They've already awarded the football to Cumberland Gap, but good tough running by Corey. It looked to me like his knee was down, and then the ball came out after he was laying on the ground. Of course, we rarely agree with the Zebras in a football game when it goes against us.
Let's see what Cumberland Gap wants to do right here. Sometimes a lot of teams after turnovers will go for the big play. Adam Nelson, quarterback, shotgun formation, running backs left and right, looking. Now he's going to go deep, has a man down there, but no, who is it? Taylor Ogle, almost on the interception right there, Rob, but Ogle had the beat on it, and I thought he'd hauled it in.
Well, Mike, one thing I'm a little bit surprised with is, and of course I think they're keeping the extra running back in there just because of our blitz package to help block the linebackers. But last time we played them, they really spread us out, tried to challenge us by formation, threw the ball everywhere, threw the ball to the numbers, the hash, down the middle of the field, threw the ball deep and short. They really just haven't spread the football around like they did us in the region championship game. Of course, we're just getting started.
Second down, 10 to Gap. Nelson looks, a little hot pass out to the right side, a little running room. Plenty of running room. Finally tripped up right there. Great athletic play by number 10, Bo Owens.
Mike, good play, good pass play by Cumberland Gap. We had guys out there on the football. That's one time where we almost over-pursued, and he made a good cut behind his blockers.
Of course, Gatlinburg-Pittman winners last week in the first round, 30-14 over Rockwood. Cumberland Gap winners over Happy Valley, 38-14. First and 10, Cumberland Gap. 10:43 remaining in the first half from Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Nelson looks. He's going to have to tuck it up now. He's going to throw it right there. And for his lucky, Rob, that wasn't picked off right there. Intended for Johnson, number 10 right there. Double covered by Dyer and Young.
One thing Cumberland Gap's head coach has to put into the game plan, he has to protect this quarterback. He doesn't run real good with the football, Mike, but the big thing is he just can't take a hit. We hit him several times, and he came to the sideline and without an injury. So they've got to really surround that guy, got those two running backs beside him, and they just have to really keep us off of him.
Looks like GP's coming full out on the blitz right there. Draw inside. That's Johnson on the carry, 30, 20, 15, 10. Cuts back inside, hammered down at the 5-yard line. Good play, Cumberland Gap.
Mike, it was a good play. He made some nice cuts. We had an opportunity to tackle him in the backfield for a loss. Didn't wrap up. He made a good cut and a good run.
That's the wrong replay right there. But we'll get to it for a second. I think that was actually number 10, Austin Brock, on the coverage right there. Injured man down. Of course, Rob, good crowd on hand. Of course, for some reason, crowd's a little bit late getting here for the 7 o'clock playoff games as you look at the replay here. Almost had him in the backfield there.
Well, you know, one thing they can do, Mike, is with this two backs or even out of the one back set in the shotgun, offensive linemen can come out of their stance, show pass, almost pass block, just whichever way our defensive lineman goes, they just ride him that way, hand the ball off, and essentially it's just a draw play.
So it's going to be first and go from the 5-yard line for Cumberland Gap.
Which really calls it's a tough read for the linebackers.
Nelson, the quarterback, Beeson, the running back, as they send trips to the left side. Nelson looks, wants to throw the football, and he's going to be sacked at the 10-yard line. Rob, I don't agree with that offensive call right there. Why spread the field and want to throw the football from 5 yards out?
Mike, how many times do you see it? Not just in high school football, college, and occasionally in the NFL. Coaches drive the length of the field, get down in the red zone, and get away from what got them there just because they've got a short field.
I don't know. Second and go from the 10-yard line. Long snap count. GP jumps it. God, I don't know how they weren't offside. That's Beeson. Touchdown, Panthers. A little speed there.
And Mike, I tell you, we talked about Cumberland Gap up until the play before last, not really challenging us by formation, giving us a lot. Well, now they've just added another weapon that we've got an account for, and that's Beeson. He's had a heck of a night.
Of course, I think Cumberland Gap going for the PAT here. I think you're down 2. You always need to try to catch up. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. Rob, I don't know about that.
Well, Mike, what they're saying there is they have the confidence to come back and score several touchdowns on us, but I agree with you. I would have gone for 2. Of course, Beeson having a big night on us.
Of course, Cumberland Gap doing more tonight on the ground tonight. Of course, Nelson, Adam Nelson, a quarterback, 307 yards on the season. Reading in the paper today, Rob, it's supposed to be the 5th best ever for a TSSAA
total offensive output on it
for during a regular season. Beeson 40 yards in that rushing so far tonight for Cumberland Gap. So here with 9:23 remaining in the first half, GP still on top 8-7.
And Mike, that makes it a little more exciting.
Deep from the Highlanders, standing back at the 15-yard line in the center, number 7, Young. To his right, 32, Dyer. To the left, number 10, Owens. Rob, a little nippy out there tonight, but I'm sort of toasty up here with our Five Oaks Construction GP broadcast sweatshirts on here tonight. I think we need those mittens next year. Johnson squips it right there. Finally picked up by Jenkins, trying to get on the corner, cuts back inside. Corey trying to make something happen here. Great return.
And Mikey
out,
did make something happen. And I tell you, some guys on that front line had their heads up and weren't just dropping back and being robots and getting in a wedge and going forward. They kind of were aware of where the football was and where it was trying to go and made some blocks downfield.
Good job by Corey Jenkins, the junior. Spot the ball at the 50. Hagan Sims, number 12, to the left side. Janey to the right. Trap inside Robertson. Nice gain of about 4 down close to the 46-yard line.
Mike, if you're an offensive coach, you're going to have to try to do something to account for those linebackers blitzing in the A and B gaps, try to run the football or just toss the ball right over his head to your tight end, Zach Sutton.
Second down, 5, Highlanders. Dyer, right side running room, and more. Still on his feet. First down at the 36-yard line.
Of course, GP really balanced tonight, Mike. That's our 7th first down and going into the second quarter, and we've had 4 rushing and 3 passing.
Sims to the left, Sutton tight end right, Owens in the slot. Make that Jenkins in the slot. Dyer, right side. Actually, Ogle, after the fake to Dyer, pickup of about 1 down to the 35-yard line. Of course, Rob, sometimes on that play, the old 36 belly play, of course,
the
also
quarterback keep.
The 36 belly keep right there for the quarterback after 2 fakes right there just keeps around right in. Big play for the Highlanders several years ago with quarterback Aaron Lewis. Same formation for GP on 2nd and 9. This time Dyer. Knocked out of bounds, hit out of bounds right there. GP fans want a flag, but that's not going to happen there.
And Mike, one thing you got when you get into the playoffs, you got use every formation, every play you've got in your playbook, mix it up, give them a lot to defend.
Hey, it's a game at a time. You don't want to leave anything in the locker room. Winner of the night's game will take on the winner of Alcoa and CAK next Friday night. 3rd and 7, GP. Crossbuck. Running room right there. That's Jenkins on the carry. Or was that Robertson? Can't tell. That was Jenkins. Actually slipped right there trying to cut back. Ball right at the 28-yard line. And it's going to be 4th and 2, GP. And this may be the meat team coming in here, Rob. The Twin Towers of refrigerators going straight ahead. But that's not what we have. Ogle-Magle with a long snap count here. Ogle looks for Dyer in the flat. Going to take up and run. Twist turns. He's going to have the first down at the 25-yard line. Of course, Rob, when you're 6'4", you can stretch pretty good.
Well, Mike, I think he made a good decision. I thought he was just going to try to lob it to Bo Dyer, but I think that he knew where the chains were. He knew what yard line he had to get to. And like you said, when you're 6'5" and you got that great body lean, just take advantage of it. And he knew where to get the football.
1st and 10 Highlanders at the 25-yard line. 6:42 and counting in the first half. GP on top, 8-7 here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Young to the left, Sutton tight end right. Dyer tailback out of the power I. Jenkins on a carry, and he's hammered right there.
Well, Mike, you've got a couple things you can do here. We got 3 down linemen. They've got a guy head up on the center. We know we can block him with Keelan Bryce. We've got 2 defensive tackles on Allman and Doty. We know we can block them, but the thing is, Mike, they're blitzing 2, sometimes 3 linebackers. You got to get the ball off tackle on the edge, but also you look out there and you see Chase Young one-on-one, and that guy, Mike, at that time had 12 yards cushion. So you got some options here.
2nd and 10, GP. Dyer, right side. Gets back inside, down close to the 20-yard line. We'll call it 3rd down 5, Highlanders.
Of course, as soon as I said that, they rolled the safety over, double-teamed Chase Young, dropped the linebackers off, and did a great job playing the sweep.
Of course, remember,
maybe that's why we're not coaching anymore.
That's right. As you get a good look at the replay, remember you can watch the Highlander marching band at halftime under the direction of Ron Hicks, assisted by Mark Harrell.
Boy, Matt Robertson, normally a great blocker. He can't slow down to make his block. You can't slow down when Bo Dyer's got the football behind you.
Ogle, Young, complete. 5-yard line, 1st down, Highlanders.
And, Mike, there you go. Great play.
Their 9th first down of the ball game.
Chase Young hadn't dropped the football until he kind of had the drops there about midway through the season. But, Mike, the last 2 games, he's been as sure-handed as anybody. And that's probably about his 23rd reception of the season.
Owens to the right, Young to the left. Dyer, tailback. Ogle looks Ralph Kidd almost caught that over there. Big stat man for the Highlanders, but I think that ball sort of slipped on there.
I think it did too. It looked like it kind of slipped out of his hands as he was throwing it.
Cold
Of course,
night,
no harm done.
Cold night, it's hard. That ball gets a little slick there.
Of course, that's one thing you like about having a 6'5" quarterback. He's got big hands, holds on to the football. And, Mike, you see the meat team in.
As Marty said, the heavy package there.
Billy Husky, Adolfo Allman.
Dyer on the give. Flag right there. I think maybe one of the big guys may have jumped in the backfield.
And, Mike, sometimes that backfires on you. You know, you can come out in that heavy formation and it intimidates the other guys. And you know good and well if Allman and Billy Husky wham a linebacker, what's going to happen. But, you know, when you ask those guys to do something that they've never done in their life, not even in Little League, you know, sometimes they get back there and it's just not an easy thing for them.
I think what it was, Robert, he didn't jump. He just wasn't set long enough for the ball was snapped. So we'll back it up 10. Back it up 5, ball at the 10. Second down and go for the Highlanders. Look in, Owings. Incomplete.
Incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
So this will be 3rd and go from the 10-yard line. Remember, you can watch this replay on Channel 4, the PEG channel. Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock, Monday nights at 7 o'clock, and Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Mike Hell along with Marty Nicely, Rob Younger, Randall Bryan, Kevin Tierney, and like you said, Rob, all kinds of security now. Is it because of us or because of the food? Owens motions to the right. Look for him. Ogle does. Where is he? He's going to have to tuck up, being pressure right now. He's going to be dropped. Not yet. Finally back at the 21-yard line.
Mike, Cumberland Gap comes up huge. I think Taylor Ogle thought when the play fell apart that he could outrun number 77, but 77 reached out, got a hand on his jersey, and hey, the guy made a great defensive play.
So with the loss right there, it's going to be 4th and go from the 21-yard line. Highlander's going to have to get in the end zone or turn it over on downs. Janey to the right, Young to the left. Ogle looks. There's the old screen right there. Dyer, can he make something happen? So far, so good, but no, it's going to be Panther football at the 15-yard line. Rob, GP missed a golden opportunity there. 1st and go from the 5.
And I tell you, Mike, you talked about losing a great opportunity right there. Well, your coaching mentality has to change here because you know that your field goal kicker's injured and you're not going to kick a field goal. So your play calling and the way you think about approaching offense in the red zone is going to change tonight.
Nelson, shotgun formation. He's got people spread out all over the field. Double inside reverse right there. That's Shipley on the carry. Up across the 20 to the 24-yard line here with 3:16 remaining in the first half. GP 3 timeouts left. Cumberland Gap 2, and there is a GP man down. It looks like from here it's big number 77, Adolfo Elman for the Highlanders.
Mike, he's kind of rolling around like maybe just kind of got the breath knocked out of him. We'll look at him from our defensive tackle spot there. I don't know, Mike. He looks like he kind of tripped over somebody and went down, but you see trainer Scott Bird.
Director of Sports Medicine at Fort Sanders Severe Medical in Sevierville. Done a great job as the athletic trainer here this year at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School.
Mike, a very competent trainer. I go to him with my own injuries. As a matter of fact, I called him this week about last year. He treated my bone spur and got me on the right path with my rehab. This week I've got a hurt back. Of course, I called him. He told me exactly what to do. He is a very good athletic trainer.
Also out there helping out, Coach Benny Hammonds.
And I tell you what, that's not a guy we want out of the ball game, Mike. He's one of the better linemen in East Tennessee. You know, I think Adolfo is one of those guys that he's one of the better linemen in 2A football, Mike. But I think he could go to Dobbins Bennett or Oak Ridge or Sevier County High School, and I think he'd be a starter on any of the 5A teams in East Tennessee.
Second down 3, Cumberland Gap. First, replacing Alman at defensive tackle, number 58, Elijah Casey, the big sophomore for the Highlanders.
Who, when he's a junior or then senior, he'll be one of the better linemen in East Tennessee.
Horner and Sutton, defensive ends. Shipley again on a carry, hit by Casey. Can't tell from here, Rob. They may have to measure for the first time tonight. What did they say, first down?
They're going to say first down.
Rob, I had to stand up a little bit, get away from that window right there. It's a little nippy, the breeze coming in there. May have to shut the windows here at halftime. Under 3 minutes to play. Yeah, that's right, they jump. I think that right tackle jumped for him there, Rob. Number 60. And Rob,
and Mike, I think that's their first penalty tonight.
False start against them. We'll bank them up 5 yards. First and 15. Clock stop, 2:48 remaining in the first half.
Well, Mike, the Highlanders need to get out of this half. They need to get into the locker room, get on the chalkboard, but especially with the defensive coordinator, Neil Estes, look at the run play, see what those guys are doing, and just make a few adjustments and come out and play a great second half.
Nelson goes deep, right side, incomplete, intended
great
for
coverage by
Smith
Jeffrey
over
Janey.
there. Like I said, Rob, great coverage by number 17, the senior, Jeffrey Janey.
You know, you're talking about them being one of the most prolific offenses and the 5th best offense to ever play in Tennessee. Most of these teams, I bet, that they play against might come out and play zone defense, and that guy, they don't get the pass rush that we get, and he just sits back there and picks them apart.
Beeson on the carry, still on his feet, brought down at the 30-yard line, well short of the first down. They'll bring up third, and we'll call it 5. Clock running, 2:15 and counting in the first quarter.
But, Mike, that's what we've got to stop. And, of course, this is where having your two linebackers that have played every snap the entire season, Joey Green and Matthew Pitzer, are, you know, hurt us. Not that those other guys aren't doing a great job, but that's what we've got to stop when we come back out the second half.
Nelson looks, pumps. Man in the flat, drop. Boy, Robbie had the first down there. Ogle on the coverage there, but
he did, and he threw a great football.
Brings up 4th and 5, and of course, Rob, we need to punt here. Looks like GP may try to set up a return to get good field position. They got 2 timeouts left with 1:44 remaining in the ballgame. Big thanks to the Atrium Restaurant for providing today's pregame meal for the Highlanders and the cheerleaders. Thank you, Don and Debbie Smith. Highlanders going to return onto the left sideline. Line kick, that's the kind you want right there, but Young goes to the right. Robbie had a little wall set up to that left side there, but just got bumped there and just couldn't get to the left side. So with 1:36 remaining in the first half, GP on top 8-7. They'll scrimmage from the 39-yard line. Of course, also in the booth tonight, former Michigan great captain Eric Bracken's up here, now city manager down in Norris right here. And of course, Rob, you know, when it's cold, everybody likes to get up here in a warm booth. Dyer left side, he's got some running room. close to a first down, pickup of 9 out to the 47-yard line.
Of course, you talk about Eric Brackens being in the booth. Anytime we have a good player that comes along, Mike, he's the standard that we compare him to. If we have a good lineman, we talk about he's going to be another Woody Sowen. But when you have a kid like Matthew Pitcher that's coming up as an 8th grader, everybody says there's the next Eric Brackens. He's the standard that we compare our new players to.
Looked like Eric had dropped a little weight since his playing days. 2nd and 1. Ogle fakes, looking, gets a man out there. That's Jenkins. First down at the 47 of the Panthers. And Rob, Coach Benny Hammonds may come back with this play right here because both receivers, Jenkins and Sutton, wide open right there. Just had a man out there on the island by himself. And, wide open Sutton about 10 more yards downfield.
I agree with you, Mike, but get the ball to Bo Owens. He's your after the catch. He's your best runner after the catch.
Jenkins comes out of his shoe there. He's going to lose one back to the 49. You got to lace them up, boys. You got to lace them up.
I've never been quick enough to run out of my cleats.
Chris Rob, back you played, they had the high tops on. Hard to come out.
Yeah, we need to. If Adolfo's going to be our kicker next week, I'm going to have to get him one of my old square toe kicking shoes and teach him how to tie the shoestring around that middle cleat and around his calf.
Ogle drops, looking, screen, left side, Dyer. Now it's going to cut back right side. He's got something going here, Rob. Something may happen here.
Well, Mike, I thought the way he caught the ball and looked, I thought it was going to be a throwback to the quarterback.
Dyer down right at the 40-yard line. That may spotted at the 39. GP uses a timeout. We're going to have 2 left here with 6 seconds remaining in the first half. Rob, you may have been right there. He looked back to Ogle there like
well, Mike, looking at the replay, it looks like it was going to be a double pass. Looks like they threw it to him wide, and he was initially looked downfield, and nobody was open. Then he looked back to the other side.
GP on top, 8-7. Rob, if you're the Cumberland Gap coach, what if this game ends up 8-7?
You're going to be coaching at Middlesboro, Kentucky next year.
I don't think that'll be your final score there, but.
Of course, huge crowd on hand from Cumberland Gap, Mike. They're excited about football at the new high school up there.
All right, 6 seconds left.
I see a few students with their old Pal jackets on. Pal Valley.
Ogle drops, looks, wants to go deep. He does go deep. Downfield to Orange. That ball is caught by incomplete. And Rob, that's going to be the end of the first half here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Halftime, the Highlanders, Gatlinburg-Pittman 8. The Panthers from Cumberland Gap 7. We'll be back after the halftime performance by the Highlander Marching Band.
Welcome the Gatlinburg-Pittman High School Band. The officers for the band are Ann Catherine Nays, drum major, Lily Houston, band captain, Ida Welborn, drum captain, Chelsea Sands, guard captain, Tara Tyrell, guard co-captain. Directors are Ron Hinton, Mark Harrell. Tonight's featuring performer are Shanna Arp, Alex Edmondson, Brittany Lewis, and Chaz Sims.
Marty Nicely here at halftime, where Gatlinburg-Pittman leads in a hotly contested ball game, 8-7. Unofficial first half stats: Cumberland Gap, 5 first downs. Here's a very interesting stat: passing in the first half. Cumberland Gap 3 of 10 for only 15 net yards, 1 interception. Chase Young with the interception. Rushing, Cumberland Gap 12 rushing attempts for 102 yards, averaging nearly 9 yards a carry. Total offense in the first half for Cumberland Gap, 117 yards. Gap punted 3 times for 29-yard average, fumbled 1 time and lost it, and was penalized 1 time for 5 yards. Scoring for Cumberland Gap, 9:23 left to go in the second quarter, 10-yard run. Point after was good. They trailed at that time 8-7. For Gatlinburg-Pittman, first downs in the first half, 9. Passing, GP 9 of 15 through the air for 122 yards. Rushing, GP 23 rushing attempts for 83 yards. Total offense in the first half, 205 yards. GP fumbled 1 time. Opponent recovered. Penalty. Penalized 3 times for 5 yards. GP did not have to punt in the first half. Scoring summary for GP, first quarter, 6:37 left to go. Taylor Ogle to Bo Owens, a 22-yard TD pass. And with Matthew Pitzer out, GP went for 2. Ogle to Owens again on the point after for the 2-point conversion. GP led 8-0 at that time, and the halftime score is 8-7. Rob and Mike will be, well, we'll just hold it right here.
Back here getting ready to start the second half of the night's ball game. Gatlinburg-Pittman is enjoying a 8-7 lead over the Panthers from Cumberland Gap in tonight's second round TSSAA state playoff game here. And of course, Marty gave you the stats right there. What's surprising, Rob, is that Cumberland Gap getting it done on the ground tonight, not putting the ball in the air that much.
Well, Mike, I tell you, I bet when they went into the locker room at halftime, I bet Coach Neil Estes had the chalk dust flying, Mike, trying to make some adjustments to take care of that.
And Rob, it's really getting a little nippy out there tonight. Coldest game we've had all season here, and of course, sometimes it's tough to handle the football on a cool night. But Highlanders will receive the ball to start the second half here, and of course, you saw a great halftime performance by the Highlander marching band there. And of course, Rob, a couple weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago when we played Cumberland Gap, second half, a couple onside kicks, and they may be able to sneak and try to do something here, but a big series for the Highlanders coming up right here.
Well, Mike, and they have film of last week's game and saw how successful they were with the onside kicks, getting two of them.
Rockwood against us.
Rockwood against us, so don't be shocked if they try it.
Of course, Gatlinburg-Pittman 10-1 on the football season. Cumberland Gap 10-1. Cumberland Gap's only loss was to the Highlanders in the region championship game. Gatlinburg-Pittman trying to reach the 11th win plateau, and only the fourth time in school history. They got 3 today. Johnson to kick off, deep for the Highlanders, Chase Young. And it's going to be Owens at the 12. Nice wedge right there. Owens still in his feet. And Rob, I don't know who it was, but Cumberland Gap guy got hammered, and couldn't tell from here. I don't know if we can pick it up on the replay, but he got nailed.
Well, I'll tell you, Bo Owens did a nice job catching the football, Mike. It looked like he was going to fall down, but he did a good job keeping his knee off the ground and getting us some extra yardage. But somebody did, Mike. Somebody laid one of the Cumberland Gap players out. That's going to be a helmet decal.
1st and 10 Highlanders. Young splits to the left on 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Dyer, right side, pounds, twists, turns up close to the 30. Of course, Rob, this part of the game right here, the way it's going so far, you got to definitely pound it out with your Highlanders and have that ball control.
Well, Mike, talking about ball control, one of the best things that the Highlanders did the first half, Mike, was simply just keep the football away from Cumberland Gap's offense. Had a great time of possession, moved the chains, picked up about 10 first downs, and did not have to punt in the first half.
Owens in the slot. Dyer again right side. Hit at the line of scrimmage. And hammered down at the 30-yard line. No gain on the play for GP. And Rob, like we talked in the previous matchup between Cumberland Gap and GP, much better job this year by Cumberland Gap on defense, swarming to the football. It's not like they'll bust you pretty good or pop you pretty good, but they do swarm to the football. So look for maybe some misdirection by Coach Benny Hammers and his staff here this second half. Young to the right, Dyer the tailback, out of the power eye. Dyer left side, trying to get on the corner, cuts back inside. Hit right there, flag is down there. That may be a hole against the Highlanders. GP's going to be short of the first down. Let's see what Cumberland Gap elects to do. That flag, Rob, is in that vicinity, and there's his call right there, holding against the Highlanders, and let's see what they elect to do. GP's going to be about 2 yards short here. That hole may have been against Doty good.
And Mike, I thought that was a perfectly good block. Thought it was a great effort by Doty. You're talking about trying to run across Buck or some misdirections, and again, you get back, Mike, to your depth and your injuries. The guy that usually carries the football on Coach Hammond's cross-buck play is Matthew Pitzer, who's out with an injury tonight. So, it really changes him being out as a kicker, him being out as a ball carrier, really changes your offensive strategy.
Well, a new punter in there, Elman, his first punt of the season. Let's see if Cumberland Gap comes after it. Now they have to return on. It's a good kick by Adolfo. Fair catch called by Shipley at the 36-yard line.
Well, Mike, you have to think that when they look out there and see Adolfo handling the punt, that on the next time, when and if we punt, that they're going to try to put a little heat on it. But, really, Adolfo looked to me like he did a great job handling the snap, took one step and kicked it.
Gatlinburg-Pittman, if they win next week, will take on the winner of the Alcoa CAK game. If it's CAK, it'll be here. If it's Alcoa, we'll be out in the cold over there, Rob. 1st and 10, Cumberland Gap, no huddle offense. Twins left and right. Beeson the lone setback. Nelson drops, looks, wants to go deep. Ball, arm hit right there. And who was it, Rob? Big 80.
Big number 80, Zach Sutton. Mike getting, and that's a great place to bring the pressure forward. Good place to line Zach Sutton up. You got the left-handed quarterback, bring the pressure from his backside, and that's exactly what we did. You see Zach Sutton in that three-point stance. Mike just puts a good bull rush right there, runs through that wing pack. And
really, I think it's the first time the GP defense has got to Nelson, the 6'8 quarterback, tonight. 2nd down, 10, Panthers. Beeson on the give. Stopped by a host of Highlanders after he pounds his way out to the 40, make that 39-yard line.
Mike, you have to wonder if there's some pre-snap reads here. When you look at them and they come out in that two-back set, one on each side of the shotgun quarterback, Mike, it's all the guy that gets the handoff is always standing beside or behind the quarterback. The guy that's blocking is a step or two ahead of the quarterback. So you got to kind of wonder if some of these linebackers are starting to pick up on some pre-snap reads, looking a little body language, body lean, but that time they were all over it.
3rd down, 8, Cumberland Gap. Max protection this time. Nelson goes deep, has a man across the middle. Ball's complete. Number 31, Whit Willis on the catch. Long pass play. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line on the Highlanders.
And, Mike, that was just your old post route, and Jeffrey Janey was the cover guy and really didn't do a terrible job with his coverage. He seemed backpedaling there, turning his hips and running with the receiver. It's just a case where it was just a great throw and put it right on the money.
So Cumberland Gap on the prowl here, the Panthers. Beeson on the give. Stopped by Big Billy Husky and number 32, Bo Dyer for the Highlanders. Of course, Gatlinburg-Pittman head coach Benny Hammonds. Rob, it's it's like when you talk about Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, they're always going to go to the playoffs, so you might as well just pencil in those dates ahead of time. No gain on the play. 2nd down, 10, Cumberland Gap. Pop pass out there. It's Johnson. Cuts back inside. 1st down at the 14-yard line. He made a couple of guys miss there, Rob.
And he did. They've set that play up 3 different times tonight where they've done a good job with it. Thing is, you got 2 guys running off the football, running our 2 covers guys off, throwing the ball behind them. But then they do a pretty good job of blocking right there.
Douglas on the stop for the Highlanders. Twins left and right. Beeson alone setback. Nelson shotgun formation. Beeson again.
Well, Mike, we were talking about stopping Beeson and stopping that run play, and the coaches going in the locker room at halftime. They've obviously made some good adjustments. They're doing a good job against the run. And one thing, Mike, that it looks like is we don't have our linebackers. Of course, you see them right there coming on the blitz, but we haven't blitzed as much in this second half. Good call right there by the defensive coordinator, Neil Estes.
Robertson first on the hit for the Highlanders. 2nd down, 11, loss of 1.
Of course, you can blitz those guys, but, Mike, they still have to keep their head up, and it's up to them to find the football and make the tackle.
Ball should have been caught and dropped right there at the 5-yard line.
Mike, I don't know. Go back and look at this replay. I'm not so sure that Bo Dyer didn't jump up high enough to maybe just barely deflect that football, and then Jeffrey Janey certainly came in and made a play on it.
Third down, 11, Cumberland Gap. And Rob, they do have a pretty good field goal kicker. Nelson looks. Screen out there, Beasley. It's set up. Cumberland Gap touchdown. Great execution by Cumberland Gap.
Great execution. That was set up. That was a beautiful football play, Mike. I thought we had pressure. We thought we had pressure. He set up, faked like he was going to block, just got right behind his offensive line. And
Cumberland Gap to go for one again. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So here with 7:08 remaining in the third quarter, Cumberland Gap takes the lead over the Highlanders for the first time tonight, 14-8.
And Mike, when you look at that replay, hey, that's just a beautiful football play. You see Beeson lined up right there beside the quarterback, sets up, looks like he's going to block, just slips into that little screen, has three offensive linemen out in front blocking for him. That's a beautifully designed and executed football play. And of course, what they did with that tight end, he kind of ran a drag. Our linebacker ran with him. Really, there was nobody out there. Two of the offensive linemen didn't have anybody to block.
Of course, Rob, Cumberland Gap fans really come to life. They've got the momentum here at Hammondsville. Rob, still a lot of football to play tonight.
No doubt about it. GP just needs to get the football settled down. Mike, they're still going to have to start mixing it up on offense. They're going to have to throw the ball, even if it's just the short stuff. Throw the ball a little bit on first down. We just can't be putting ourselves in 2nd and 9, 3rd and 9 all the time.
That's going to be Dyer at the 15. That's the man you want with it right there. He's got some running room. Brought down at the 37-yard line. Remember, you can see tonight's broadcast on Channel 4, the PEG channel, downtown Gatlinburg, Monday nights at 7 and Wednesday nights at 7. And, of course, as always, Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. Dyer, tailback out of the I formation. Young to the left, Orange to the right. Trap inside Robertson. Couple yards out close to the 39-yard line.
Offendice on the stop. Pick up maybe 2. Second down.
2nd down, 8 GP. Of course, Rob, only 16 teams left in the playoffs after last week. After tonight, there'll be 8 in each class. Dyer again left side, bounces outside. Maybe a gain of 1 up to the 40-yard line. This Panther defense really coming after the Highlanders.
And they are, that score, of course, gave them a lot of momentum. And as you talked about earlier, got that little extra spring in their step. But then, they get that going for them. Then they start getting gang tackling, really start things really rolling for them. Right now, Mike, it's up to the seniors, and it's like Coach Hammonds has said 1,000 times, you're only going to be as good as your seniors. And this has been a great group. They've gotten us this far, but they're going to have to come up and make some big plays.
Sims to the right, Young to the left on 3rd and 7. Uga looks, look in Young. That ball is complete for a first down at midfield. Rob,
that might be the catch of the year. First of all, it was a hard pass to catch to look in. He got hit by 2 guys, was still fumbling the football after the first hit. I don't know how they hung on to this, Mike. What a football play.
Ogle drills it in right there. Boom, boom, boom.
That's unbelievable.
Great job of Chase Young, the senior.
Hey, that could be on anybody's highlight reel.
That could be one of the top 5s on ESPN. Ogle's going to try it to the right side. It's Owens, a little high on him right there. That'll bring up 2nd down, 10 GP. 5:26 GP.
2nd down and 10.
Second down, ball at the 50-yard line. They trail the gap 14-8.
Well, Mike, we certainly don't need to give up on that. We've got to get the ball to Bo Owens. Does a great job running after the catch. I think sometimes when Taylor gets in a real big hurry and trying to get rid of the football quick, that's when it sails on him a little bit. But don't give up on Bo Owens. He's out there in single coverage. Get him the football.
Ogle fakes, looking downfield, wants to go for Orange, being hemmed in and dumped at the 40-yard line.
Mike, I thought we had a chance. You know, initially it looked bad. Nose guard got in there. Bo Owens did a great job of picking him up and helping out. But then Taylor just kind of ran right into that outside rush.
So with a loss on the play, they'll bring up third down 18 for the Highlanders. Clock running, 4:53 and counting in the third quarter. Janey to the left as GP goes with that bunch formation to the right. Robertson the lone setback. Ogle looks, ball's going to be complete right there to Owens. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, and it looks like GP may have to punt the ball away again tonight for only the second time.
Mike's second punt of the night, but I tell you, you better tell those guys to hold their block. We got a new punter in here. You got to tell them to stick with their blocks for an extra count.
It's a big Adolfo Elman on to punt it away for the Highlanders. There's a fake right there. Dyer looks, wants to throw the football. Ball incomplete right there, intended for Sutton on the play. So Cumberland Gap will take over at midfield on the fold fake punt for the Highlanders.
You know, Mike, you got to try something, but, you know, he took the snap, and if you're going to try a fake punt and you're going to throw the ball, the guy that you're throwing it to has got to be deep enough where he's going to get the first down. And, of course, Bo, that was the only receiver that he had in his mind, the only receiver in the route. Boy, that's going to hurt us.
Beeson, 5 receivers spread all across the field on 1st and 10. Wanted to option to the left side. But we do have a flag down. This is going to be stepped off against Cumberland Gap. Illegal procedure against the Panthers. Twins left and right. Beeson the lone setback on 1st and 15 Cumberland Gap. Hot pass out there, ball incomplete right there.
Pass incomplete. Bring up second down.
Rob, a little strange right here. It seems like if you're Cumberland Gap, you don't want to work on that clock a little bit right there, keeping on the ground. But, you know, hey, that's why we're in the booth. Second down, 15. Nelson drops, wants to go deep again, hands a man down. That ball's going to be almost picked off by a diving Chase Young.
Mike, good football player. I tell you, that was a beautifully thrown football. Chase Young just closed some ground. He had a good pattern. The guy was open. Chase Young just put it in that extra gear and closed some ground and knocked the ball down. Did a great job. Of course, he wasn't trying to knock the ball down. He was going for an interception.
You know, it's really amazing how Nelson, the quarterback, gets a lot of zip in that ball. Rob really throwing off his front foot. Second down, 15. Watch for the draw. There comes the flags there. Rob, I thought he was thrown to the wide open.
I did
Johnson
too. He had
at the 40-yard line.
he had the post route wide open deep.
First, Rob, in high school football, it's 15 yards from the line of scrimmage and an automatic first down, and that's all the Panthers needed. Was a little contact there, Rob. I didn't see it live because I was looking at the guy downfield. So it is going to be 1st and 10 for Cumberland Gap. Ball at the 39-yard line of the Highlanders. 3:33 remaining in the third quarter from Hammondsville, Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, the Mountain Thicket. Cumberland Gap is going to call a timeout. They expend one here, so. Rob, be a good day to go hiking tomorrow.
Going to be a great day. Beautiful week in the woods. Had a great week. Two great groups at the Environmental Center Monday night. Had a great night. Went to Aramon, a friend of mine, had a book published. And guys, if you want to read a great murder mystery, we have a local author here named Keith Donnelly that has a new book out called 3 Deuces Down. Great book. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. 3 Deuces Down, Keith Donnelly. Great book. Had a book signing. Got my personalized copy.
Probably available at the Environmental Center as well.
But beautiful week, great night for football. And, you know, coming into this game, Mike, the only thing anybody's been talking about in Gatlinburg are Matthew Pitzer and Joey Green being out. But I really thought that we were going to match up good with them tonight. Got a great group of seniors, great defensive back. Cumberland Gap really didn't threaten us right over the middle any of that first game anyway, but it's been a tough game.
All right, 1st and 10, Cumberland Gap at the 39-yard line. Nelson throws, ball complete. Robert had that pattern right there on that right side. You know, they sent one man deep and hooked a man up at about 12 yards and, sort of stretching the field on the Highlanders. I guess if you're Cumberland Gap, that's how you work on the clock. Twins left, Deuces in the backfield for Nelson, out of the shotgun formation. Counter ball loose right there, picked up by Sutton. He may go. He's gone.
That's going to be 6,
Zach
Mike.
Sutton, touchdown Highlanders.
Oh. You know, hey, just a mistake on Cumberland Gap's part, coughed up the football, bad exchange. Zach Sutton right where he's supposed to be, heads up, scooped the ball up, and hey, their quarterback wasn't going to catch him.
Nobody 6'8" is going to catch Zach Sutton right there. And this Highlander crowd has erupted, Rob, and it's silence over here.
It's a tie ball game.
GP went for 2 the first time they scored, and looks like they're going to do it again, with Pitzer being out of the ball game.
Hey, I think I'd be on the phone to the soccer coach and going, hey, do you have anybody that wants to play football this week?
Big package not in there, but I can guarantee Dyer's going to get the football. Fake. He's got 2 men wide open. That ball's caught. Corey Jenkins for the 2-point PAT. Highlanders on top, 16-14.
Hey, great football play. The first thing they did good, Mike, the offensive line did a good job keeping everybody's hands down. Running backs carried out a great ball fake. And then, look, you got 2 receivers wide open in the backfield, or wide open in the end zone.
Big break by the Highlanders, Rob.
And, hey, just like that, Mike, we're
back in. We're ahead.
We're up by 2.
I'm sure Randall's trying to find a replay of the Plummer recovery for the touchdown. Sutton picks it up at the 35-yard line, so that's going to be 65 yards on the fumble return for the touchdown.
You know, I was telling Mike, everybody I talk to, I try to get them to come out to these football games, tell them what a great group of kids we have. And I was telling my friend, this author, Keith Donnelly, I said, and he's an old football coach. He went to East Tennessee State, coached football in Connecticut. But I said, if you want to see a great group of ball players and two really good quarterbacks, you need to come to this playoff game tonight.
Hey, I wonder how many fans are just tourists in town, visitors for the weekend. Hey, I'm going out to this ball game. Adolfo is pumped up right there. He's jacked up right there. Shipley at the 10. They got the call. There's a call there. Orange got nailed from the back right there. Didn't think a flag was going to fly, but it is down now. We're going back to Panthers up here.
And Mike, now Gatlinburg's getting a few breaks.
Here with 2:35 remaining in the third quarter.
And boy, it's amazing how much this momentum and how quick the momentum can change in a football game.
Is that number 7 Young, or is that it's Adolfo?
I think that's Adolfo.
That's tough.
I mean,
lineman
hey,
when cover downfield. That's a cramp there, of course.
When you're a 275-pound lineman, you're playing offense, defense, and you're kicking off, and it's a.
That's probably going to get Elijah Casey back in there, the sophomore at defensive tackle for the Highlanders.
Well, I tell you, Adolfo's been a big part of this football team this year.
So Cumberland Gap will scrimmage from their own 18-yard line. Nelson looks, man, across the middle. That's Shipley, still on his feet. May go right there. Finally hammered down, knocked out of bounds right there. Slowed up by Robertson, knocked out of bounds by Young at the 45. That's just all effort right there. I tell you, Rob, both teams, they're giving it all tonight.
You're exactly right, Mike. As soon as you could just watch them get down in their stance right there. You got 22 kids getting ready to tee off and play football. The ball snap. I mean, hey, you got some boys flying around right there trying to make a big play.
Twins left for Cumberland Gap. Nelson drops, looks, has a man in the flat, first down at the 43-yard line.
Hey, that's tough. Hey, the thing about it, they're coming out, they've narrowed their offensive line splits down a little bit, trying to pick up our blitzing linebackers. But, the quarterback, he's 6'8", he's already sitting 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's just taking a snap, turning his shoulders, finding the pattern, throwing it to the spot. And, hey, when you're 6'8", you tell your guys to get your hands up, but, I mean, he's still looking over you.
Beeson on the draw. Tripped up by 17 Janey at the 39-yard line. Pick up of 3 on the play. Make that 4. Rob had a good crowd on hand up here at halftime in the press box because everybody came upstairs to warm up. We actually shut those windows at halftime, but we got them wide open now. Second down, 6, Cumberland Gap.
And Mike, of course, their player came out of his stance, and it's going to be penalty against Cumberland Gap. But before the ball was snapped, you see the quarterback trying to draw the Highlanders offside. You can change your snap count and try to draw them off with your voice, but I believe they're giving him a little bit too much motion with his body and his hands right there.
Especially when you're going forward,
you
Rob,
can't lean forward
it's
like
that.
He's
taking a half step forward, and it's not legal. So after the penalty, it's second down, 11, Cumberland Gap 1:21 remaining in the third quarter. Nelson looks, wants to go deep, has a man in the flat, complete down to the 38-yard line.
Good pressure that time by Kyle Horner and Elijah Casey, but you know the guy's a good football player and showing a little more toughness than he did when we played him in the 9th week of the football season. You see, we got two guys sitting in his lap, and Mikey looks like he's throwing darts at a dartboard. Still makes a good pass.
Twins left and right, Beeson alone back. 3rd and 5, Cumberland Gap. Nelson, Beeson in the flat. Complete, cuts back inside, drives. Flags fly right there. This may be a face mask call. I think his call is going to go against the Highlanders. Rob, I didn't see it, but that is a call, face mask against the Highlanders. I think it's going to be a little short of the first down, but with a face mask call that will be tacked on, it'll be 1st and 10 for Cumberland Gap.
Well, Mike, I tell you, Beeson's 5'10", 160 pounds. Not a huge running back, but I mean, he is a tough kid. He played a heck of a football game.
Here's a replay. I don't know. It looked like Chase Young had him around
Just kind of had him horse collared there, and
he may have raked the face mask there. Just a 5-yard penalty, so it was just incidental, not unsportsmanlike. But it's 1st and 10, Cumberland Gap at the 29. Nelson has trouble. Just going to have to fall on it there. Good break for the Highlanders.
Mike, that's the first bad snap they've had 2 shotgun tonight.
Which have gone shotgun all night.
Of course, you know, really not a bad strategy by Cumberland Gap. You know, the number 3, Nelson, good athlete, Mike, but you know, when you're 6'8" and you try to get down in your stance under center, you got to bend your knees and get down, and then him taking a 3 or 5-step drop would really take a lot of time. So really, you know, that's the only choice they have is to go shotgun.
Rob, we got 3 quarters in the books. GP on top, 16-14. Lost the lead there in the third quarter, but the great 65-yard fumble return for the touchdown by Zach Sutton and the 2-point pass attempt completion from Ogle to Jenkins put the Highlanders on top as you get a good look at the Highlander faithful across the way.
Of course, so far that's the most important and the biggest play of the game. But hey, Dave Haddon and I, we're going to, if that's the play of the game, we're going to give our own award to Adolfo for kicking the ball and going down and making the tackle.
Rob, good not to have a blanket on hand here tonight, or toboggan, long johns, fleeces.
Hey, there were blankets out at daylight this morning. There were blankets with frost on them when I drove by.
Second down, 19, Cumberland Gap after the fumble. Nelson drops, looks, wants to go deep, has a man down there. Ball is incomplete right there. Boy, he's hit by Janey that time, but boy, they had a chance there, Rob. But,
had a shot.
But we'll take it.
And boy, Mike, fourth quarter, you know, this is where it's in the seniors' hands. You know, they're thinking is this going to be the last quarter of football I play, or are we going to play another game?
3rd and 19. This may be 4-down territory. Maybe not. Lost the 2 on the play back to the 39. And I say, Rob, you're Cumberland Gap. You're going to kick the football away.
Boy, got a pumped up Lee Douglas right now, Mike, making a hit in the backfield. And you know, one thing that coaches did a good job with halftime adjustments, but as this game goes on, these kids are seeing this a little better, getting some pre-snap reads, finding the misdirection, and doing a much better job shutting down the running game.
Deep for the Highlanders, that's Young and Dyer. Pressure almost blocked by Husky. Dyer on the corner. Can he get there? Something may happen here. Oh, knocked out of bounds there. I tell you, good rush that time by Big
I
Billy
thought
Husky.
big Billy Husky, I thought he was going to get a hand on the ball. Of course, Billy's had some big games lately. This is a game where he's a defensive tackle and getting double teamed and the quarterback's in shotgun formation. Going to be hard for your defensive tackles to get a lot of pressure in a game like this. And, of course, one thing about it is the guys in our defensive line, Adolfo and Dodig, some of those guys are playing a lot of snaps, chasing the quarterback and some tired defensive linemen.
Dyer left side, hammered right there, but Rob, this stage of the ball game, I say you're going to see Dyer.
Pick up about 1.
Gain of 1 on the play, second down 9 Highlanders. Looks like that's number 66, Nate Sanchez, down for the Highlanders.
And, Mike, it's just a cramp again.
So clock stop, 10:53 remaining in the ball game. GP on top, 16-14 in tonight's second round TSSAA Class 2A playoff game.
And I tell you, talking about us shutting down their run, Mike, we haven't been nearly as effective running the ball in the second half either. We've had, I think, 8 or 9 rushing attempts for about 2 yards.
There's Sanchez coming off. He's all right.
And, Mike, we've got to get something going here. I think so far, after more than a quarter of football in the second half, we've only got about 20 yards of offense. Our score came on a defensive takeaway, but we've got to move the chains, Mike. We've got to get some first downs and keep the ball a little bit longer.
Trap inside Robertson. Running room. Twists, turns, pounds. Nice game by the little man out to the 33-yard line. That'll bring up about 3rd and 2 for the Highlanders. Big down coming up.
Nice job running the ball. Good trap block by offensive lineman Michael Dodig. See big number 61. Pulls up in the line of scrimmage. Mike gets his head on the inside, makes a good trap block.
Helps his running back up there. Huge 3rd down play, Rob. Dyer. Tailback out of the I formation. Ball loose right there. And Cumberland Gap has it, Rob. Big break for Cumberland Gap. Don't quite know if they got the exchange there.
Well, Mike, at first when I saw the play, I thought it was a poor exchange. I think that guy just got penetration and stuck his hand in there and knocked the football out of Taylor's hands. I thought it was our mistake. Cumberland Gap just got penetration and caused that fumble and made their own break.
1st and 10, Cumberland Gap at the Highlanders 16-yard line. Looks like GP may be coming here as Nelson drops, wants to go deep. Has a man there, ball's going to be almost picked off by Young. And Rob, that could have went offensive interference.
Mike, they have had very little success throwing the ball on Chase Young tonight. He has played a great football game.
As you look at the replay here.
We might play in a lot of man coverage, and I don't know if it's just we feel like we match up like that, or whether our guys play better, or if it just trying to avoid any confusion of multiple formations and trips and twins to each side.
Nelson drops, looks across the middle, that ball is way overthrown.
And Mike, it was way overthrown. I don't know if he was throwing that ball away, but we're talking about great coverage and great man coverage. And I looked downfield, they had 4 receivers, and we had 4 guys in their hip pockets. I don't think he had anywhere to go with it.
Rob, one thing about playing man coverage is, it challenges you as a defensive back. You have to do your best every play.
And, of course, the big thing is you've got to do your job every play because you don't have any help. You don't have anybody helping behind you.
3rd down, 10, Panthers. Nelson drops, wanting to set up the screen. That ball is, incomplete right there. Nelson dropped it. Let's see what Cumberland Gap elects to do. I think they may go, I don't see their field goal man coming. There he is, number 16. That's Matt Combs, the senior. As you look at the replay here, really good job by Robertson right there. And of course, Rob, this is going to be a lengthy field goal attempt. Well, I wouldn't say lengthy right there. It's going to be 33 yards.
And he has not been on the sideline warming up, kicking into a net.
Snap is down, kick is up. It's long enough, and it's good. So Matt Combs on the field goal attempt, which is good, puts Cumberland Gap on top, 17-16 with 9:37 remaining in the ballgame. Rob, still plenty of time. GP 3 timeouts left.
And I tell you, Mike, that what we've got to do, first of all, we've got to keep the football. We've got to get some yardage on the first down plays. We can't keep going into every possession being 2nd and long and 3rd and long. We've got to have a good first down play on this possession. Of course, you know, Mike, really take away 2 turnovers. It's a 8-6 ball game.
Yeah. Rob, either way you look at it, GP, they're going to have a touchdown since Pitzer still injured tonight. And what we need right here is a big return. Young at the 16.
And Mike, there's your big return.
Great return by Chase Young out to the 46-yard line. Great field position for the Highlanders.
Mike, just spread the ball around into the hands of your playmakers. Got to get Bo Owens back involved in our offense. Got to get him the football. They're single covering him. We know he's going to run a great route and catch the ball. Just got to get it to him. But we got to have a positive yardage play on this first down.
Young to the right, Orange to the left, Sutton tight end left, eye backfield. Dyer, toss sweep. A couple yards down, up close to the 48. Makes that a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd down, 7 Highlanders. 9:05 remaining in the contest.
Well, I tell you, Mike, right now is when you get in that huddle and you think about all that time that you spent with Bruce Ruttenberg in the weight room, all that running you've done with Coach Weber, all the conditioning, year-round work, and you want to make it pay off right now.
Dyer, the tailback, out of the power I formation. Dyer on the give. Dyer stuffed at the 50.
Picked up a couple yards. It's going to bring up 3rd.
That'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Highlanders. Of course, Rob, you know, Ogle's gone to Young 3 or 4 times tonight on that look in. I'd look for it again here. How about Sutton on the jump pass? Oh, I thought he had pulled away with that, Rob.
Well, had he hung on to that. That would have been
man.
touchdown. That would have been a tough catch by Sutton. They were all over him.
Rob, it looks like the Highlanders are going to go for it here. Ogle's still in the ball game. Here's a replay here. Oh, man, I thought he was turning and running with it. So here on 4th and 5 at midfield, GP going for it. And GP is going to call a timeout. Coach Hammonds may decide to punt it away right here, Rob. Still plenty of time in the ball game with 8-11. GP 2 timeouts left. Of course, Rob, right there, I'd say the go-to man on that play may have been Young on the look-in.
Well, Mike, I'm not sure if they came out in their formation and their line was what it was supposed to be. You know, one thing you got to do, Mike, we keep trying to run and throw the ball to the short side of the field. You know, Taylor Ogle has a great arm. Get a couple guys, run that flood route to the wide side of the field. Let those guys run. Because Taylor Ogle is a patient quarterback, and he's going to sit there and wait till the right guy comes open.
Looks like GP is now going to punt it away, Rob. Adolfo's in there at his punting position here. GP faked it last time, but I don't know if he tried again here or not, Rob. GP trying to get another man on the field. That's Douglas who gets in there. Elman to punt it away. It's a good kick. Beeson drops it. Picked up by the Highlanders. Rob, you can't advance that, but that's going to be Highlander
No, but it's going to be
football.
Highlander football.
Got a couple guys down for Cumberland Gap, but that's going to be GP football. Big break for the Highlanders, Rob. This game has been a game of breaks. I tell you, a tough collision right there.
And Mike, I tell you what,
Was that Keelan Bright? No, he's up. I don't know. Is there a GP guys up right there? I think it's Beeson that's down there, but it's going to be GP football at the 22-yard line.
Well, Mike, I think they're looking at a couple things. You see Scott Bird kind of looking at his leg and his knee, and then they were working on his shoulder, and he was kind of in an awkward position when he took a huge hit by a Highlander player.
What a break for the Highlanders after Coach Benny Hammonds elected or started to go for it on 4th and 5. Call timeout. Here's a replay again. Call timeout. Punted it away. Going to get it back on the replay. I think that's number two, Matt Robertson on the coverage for the Highlanders.
Well, Mike, they're going to try to help him up. Of course, you hate to see them come back into the ball game with their best player hurt. Hey, he's a tough kid.
He'll be back in there. The great field position for the Highlanders here with 7:59.
Well, Mike, 1st and 10 on the 21. There's our opportunity right here.
GP goes twins to the right. That's Young and Owens in the slot. Look for an X pattern out of those boys. Dyer the tailback. Dyer on the sweep. Cuts back inside again. Great power inside the 15 down to the 14.
Mike, good football play. One thing that we get out of that, we have really good blocking on the perimeter by Bo Owens right there on the crackback.
Gain of 7 on play, second down 3 Highlanders. Same set for the Highlanders, opposite side. Dyer, left side. Cuts back inside. There's a flag right there. I don't know. That may get Chase Young for a crack back there, Rob. I don't know, but this is where it's going to go against the Highlanders, that area of the field.
Mike, that's what they're called. One thing when you got somebody, I tell you, when you look at the film, if we're still playing football next week and you're a fullback or a wide receiver or a pulling lineman trying to get out in front of Bo Dyer,